Hello and welcome to an update of the Goldilocks experiment. So let's start this update with our baby bin. So what I ended up doing was adding more bedding. So I took 6 sheets of newspaper. This one was shredded. The other one was torn into smaller pieces. And the last one was large pieces. And the reason I did that was because, of course, they worked the material over so beautifully that almost nothing but castings were left. And, well, it's hard to keep the moisture down in a bin that has too much castings. So here I'm just going to turn over the material briefly, seeing what's going on, but you can see that there is no standing liquid, which is perfect, and the smell, oops, careful there, and the smell is good and earthy, and the worms are happy, chunky. It's what I like to see. So we now have plenty of bedding, so I'm going to feed these guys up. So of course, this one gets the chopped up food, all small pieces. Just a little bit of eggshell. And we are going to cover these all up and leave them to it. But this bin is moist, I can tell you right now. It is moist. Let's go over to our mama bin. So here we are. Let's see how the mama bin is doing. Interesting. Very nice castings, all of this beautiful flaky material. So this bin is the least wet. I mean, you can see how, the castings just flake apart beautifully. That is really interesting. Very moist, very flaky. Now, this is the perfect consistency. This is how I love to see my bins. I know I have worms in here, so I'm not going to squeeze them too much, but just gently squeeze, and you see it holds its shape beautifully. But it just flakes apart in your hand. Love it. So I guess this is where I fed the last time. And we see some cocoons right there. So these guys are reproducing. And of course we have teeny tiny babies. Let's see how these guys did. So all of this is the new paper that I tore out. You can see that I tear it up into pieces like that. And I put it underneath the food to make sure that the paper is not too dry. But it seems good. I don't see any food left. So we can reuse this paper. I want to make sure that it stays nice and moist. So I'm going to put the food that I have for them right on top. And this, of course, is the same. It's cucumber and tomatoes, but cut up in some chunks. And we're going to give them a little bit of the eggshell. I'm going to cover this up again. This is about 5 ounces of food, so by no means a large feeding. But they seem to be doing well with it. So we're going to cover this up, mark that again. This is where we fed. And very, very happy with this bin. Very happy. I think the worms are happy too. This will be definitely easy to sift. Okay, let's go over to the papa bin. So here we are. And let's see here. Oh wow, so this bin surprises me the most. The food chunks and the paper and cardboard that go in here come in large chunks. I do not cut it up And I mean, just look at this. First of all, it's very moist, very moist. Definitely would not be able to sift this, but it's so worked over. It's just unbelievable. You would think that it would take them a lot longer to process large pieces of food and bedding, but oh no, not at all. So what I did here was I took the same 6 sheets of paper and I just put it at the very bottom. Just look at that. Wow. And then put the castings on top so that the paper can absorb the liquid. And just look at this. It's unbelievable how moist it is. Wow. Yeah, way too. I mean, like I normally do not like my bins to be this wet. The worms seem to be okay with it, but I'm not. And since I'm trying to do equal amounts of everything, just trying always to figure out how am I going to keep this bin from being too wet. Oh well, I'll come up with something. So I'm going to give these guys their food. So here's a whole cucumber, and I'm just going to make a hole in the tomato. I'll leave it alone. I'm not going to do anything else to it. I'm sure they'll be in there in no time at all. Give them a little eggshell. And then we'll just cover it all back up. Let's make a nice little burrito. And leave them to it, but I am just, you can see the difference, I'm sure. And it's very, very apparent. So I guess people who don't bother shredding their material and just, tear into large pieces, I would say you guys have nothing to worry about, because it looks like these guys are doing an even better job with the whole pieces than they are with the shredded pieces. I wonder if I put a piece of cardboard in here, if it would be the same as with the newspaper. Maybe I'll try that next week. So yeah, here's our update. The bins are doing great. The mama bin is the least wet, and the papa bin is the most wet. So we'll see. We'll see what develops as we move forward. Thanks for joining me. We'll see you next time.